Cardi B has once again shaken the entire internet with a revelation that has fans, bloggers, and insiders spiraling into a frenzy. During the casual conversation that quickly went viral, she hinted that she might be ready to get pregnant again for Stefon Diggs, just 6 months after giving birth to their baby. And cousins, the tone she used was not playful, not testing the waters. It was confident. It was settled. It sounded like a woman who already made up her mind. She openly talked about how well she was treated during her last pregnancy, allegedly pointing out that her delivery experience was calm, supported, and surrounded by people who made her feel safe. Fans immediately compared this to Offset, with many saying Cardi's comments struck like a direct shot. Her exact energy suggested she felt secured, pampered, and emotionally cared for, something supporters believe she never fully received in her marriage. According to online discussion threads, Cardi's description of Stefon Diggs' involvement during the pregnancy painted the picture of a man who was completely present. Alleged insiders claim he was attentive, gentle, and hands-on in ways fans insist Offset never seemed to be. The contrast between the two men has fueled non-stop conversation, with viewers arguing that Cardi's openness shows just how checked out she is of her old relationship. And here's where things got even wilder. Fans pointed out that the current newborn, Stefon's baby, is already hitting milestones fast. They say the baby looks healthy and strong, making Cardi's praise feel even more emotionally charged. Some commenters joke that the child is big and happy, while Offset is cooked, because this chapter of Cardi's life seems far removed from her turbulent past with him. As the clips circulated, social media began stitching it, slowing it down, replaying key quotes, and stitching reactions from fans who believe Cardi is signaling a major shift in her future. Many argued she sounded like a woman who was finally receiving the emotional and physical support she had always wanted. And if Stefon has been this present with one baby, fans think it's no surprise she's considering another so soon. One of the biggest talking points came from the fact that Cardi didn't hesitate to compare her treatment during this pregnancy to her past experiences, without naming anyone. Viewers said the shade was loud enough. They felt she was implying that the difference between Stefon and Offset wasn't small, it was life-changing. These comparisons are what triggered the wave of Offset is cooked comments across X, TikTok, and Reddit. Some viewers even speculated that Cardi's joined motherhood this time around might be tied to her emotional state being more stable. Several fans commented that this is the happiest they've seen her in years, based strictly on how openly she talks about her home life now. Others suggested that Stefon's influence extends into her discipline, nutrition, and stress management, especially if she's already planning another baby. But the biggest shock came when fans pointed out how quickly this new pregnancy possibility arrived. 6 months is not a long time, and the internet knows Cardi does not play when it comes to making decisive moves once she feels emotionally safe. Some called it romantic, some called it bold, and others said this chapter proves she's closing the Offset door for good. Offset's name immediately trended the moment the clip dropped. Fans were ruthless online, claiming he's probably regretting every mistake he made because the woman he assumed would always orbit around him has clearly built an entirely new life. Some users joked that Offset is in permanent timeout because if Cardi truly gives Stefon another baby, the door is locked, deadbolted, and sealed. But cousins, the tone took a sharp turn when new alleged details began circulating about Offset's reaction to Cardi's comment. Reports claim he did not take the news lightly, and what he did next left fans wondering if this story is about to erupt into something far bigger than anyone expected. Offset's name continued to dominate social conversations hours after Cardi's comments went viral, and the reactions online only intensified when alleged insiders began leaking details about his mood behind the scenes. According to rumored reports, Offset felt blindsided, not just by the idea of Cardi wanting another child with Stefon, but by the timing of it all. Fans believe the speed of her moving on is what's really eating at him, especially since the internet refuses to let him forget the storms they survived during their marriage. The conversation escalated when fans speculated that Offset might have believed Cardi's new chapter was temporary or at least not as serious as it has turned out to be. Now that she's publicly praising Stefon's presence as a father and hinting at expanding their family, supporters insist it's forcing Offset to accept a reality he never thought he'd face. He is no longer the center of her emotional world. That realization, according to commenters, is what has him spiraling internally. At the same time, fans noticed that Cardi's tone in recent clips is peaceful, almost settled. She speaks like a woman who feels protected, something that viewers have been highlighting non-stop. Many believe Stefon has given her a kind of emotional comfort she didn't always have in her marriage, and that comfort is what fuels her openness to another baby, despite the short time frame. Instead of appearing overwhelmed, she seems excited. The fan reactions have been ruthless towards Offset. On TikTok, thousands of comments floated the idea that Offset is cooked not simply because Cardi moved on, but because she finally found someone who matches her emotional needs. Some users even argued that this is the first time Cardi has been in a relationship where the love feels equal. Her joy is not a performance, and Stefon's response is not conditional. Meanwhile, Stefon Diggs' supporters have jumped into the mix, defending him heavily. They emphasize that he's kept things low-key, handled drama quietly, and focused on family. Many believe that his calm demeanor is exactly why Cardi speaks so confidently about their relationship. Rumors began circulating that Stefon is even more invested in their bond than fans previously understood, especially after hearing Cardi's comments about how cared for she felt while pregnant. But the twist came when alleged insiders revealed that Offset is having a hard time watching Stefon step into a fatherly role so seamlessly. Fans believe this is the deepest wound for him, seeing another man treat Cardi with the level of attentiveness he once thought he provided and watching the public praise Stefon while criticizing him. Some think this is the moment Offset realized there's truly no coming back. Cardi's followers continue dissecting every word she said in the viral clip, especially her description of her delivery experience. Fans believe she was indirectly highlighting how peaceful it felt to have Stefon by her side. In contrast, supporters pointed out that Cardi rarely shared glowing stories about her emotional support system during her marriage. It's this comparison that pushed the Stefon is a better partner narrative into overdrive. As the story evolved, more online conversations dissected the emotional shift Cardi seems to have undergone since separating from Offset. Some fans argue that she's finally found a rhythm that balances her career, motherhood, and love life without the stress that followed her previous relationship. The possibility of another baby only amplified this idea, making her seem even more settled in her new chapter. Offset, however, was allegedly not prepared for this level of public discourse. Reports claim he's frustrated that his name keeps coming up whenever Cardi praises Stefon, and it's pushing him into a defensive position. Fans say they've noticed subtle tension building, as though he fears losing the last bit of connection he had left. This is the kind of emotional tightrope that rarely stays private for long. And cousins. Just when fans thought the situation couldn't escalate any further, alleged insiders dropped one final detail. Something about Offset's reaction so unexpected, so intense, that it has the internet convinced the next chapter of this story is about to explode.